What is going on, YouTube? Patrick here. In today's video, come along with me. We're going to do a couple of thrift stores today. It was another short day for us as we had an appointment that we had to get to pretty early. We were going to be going over to our friend's house to do some board games for her birthday. She's kind of in our circle. During COVID, we've been hanging out basically just with our next door neighbors. We live feels almost dorm style with them, where we're just kind of hanging out with them. But so tried to stay safe, but still wanted to celebrate her birthday. All right, so first stop here was the Savers. This has been my favorite one to go to lately. Of course, where did I go first? But the electronics. And you're not seeing me grab anything, right? So far, there was no VCRs, there's no interesting DVD players or video game systems or anything. I guess I'm a little bit off center there, but I did find a weird looking radio, so I was like, well, you know the rules. It goes in the cart until we decide if it's actually worth anything or not. But I'm not even picking up anything really to even look at it at the moment. I'm looking at the shelves like going, is this all there's going to be? I did pick up this boxed phone here. I've noticed that I'm missing these right now. So I think what I'm going to do is do some research here in the near future to look into like what should I be looking for with these. But for sure, it seems like it's not just the brand new ones, that even the used ones can bring in some good money. So there's something I can add to my repertoire, as it were, to try and find more stuff. I also grabbed that it was a heat sink. I was like, I have no idea if that's going to be worth any money or not, but in the cart it went. I headed over to the toys, and the end down there with the cars and some of the kids stuff was starting to look a little bit more filled up again. But you can see as you hit into the more action figure zone here that there are just empty pegs. Now there are a few toys on the shelf. Of course, I'm going to look through them, but I mean, you guys can probably just feel my energy of just like I can't even believe this is happening. And this has kind of been the case in all of our savers around here lately. It's just that the pegs for the toys are just empty. I don't know if it's savers decided to try and clear them out, or if somebody came through and just bought all the toys. That would not surprise me. Rakin Profit's making a bunch of videos with his friend Vinny, and they've had just a ton of toys lately. So maybe they went and just bought everything just to see what they could find. I'm really not sure. But even if that was the case, you think that they're getting donations all the time. They should be able to fill these things back up again, and that just hasn't been happening. So yeah, I walked by. You saw me walk by all of the hard good toys there. Even that, just I did not find anything. I'm always looking for one of those craniums that's like a treasure hunt one. I think it may even have the same name as Cadu, but so far have not found it in a good long while. So nothing in the cart from that. Oh no, there is something in the cart there. I think I put a Star Wars Angry Birds game in the cart, but I think I ended up putting it back. It didn't have any value, even though it was brand new. All right, so here's to my next favorite section lately, right? This is where I've been doing some studying. And so I've just been going through all of these different things, just trying to figure out what's they're going to be. And you can see there's a Temp-tations by Terra dish right there. They looked like they're pretty nice. I had done some research and I knew this name, but I was like, I remember taking it off my list of a brand that I could just buy and not worry about it. So it was like one of those that I was going to need to do a little bit of research on before I decided to buy it or not. So as usual, I'll put my usual spiel out there, which is come back tomorrow and see if I bought it or not. I think you may be surprised. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice here. So looking at all the pots and pan, or all the pots and pan, all of the different like molds and stuff, the cupcake pans, all that stuff, I saw that there's definitely a few brands of these that can do well, but it seems like it's more of these harder things, I don't even know what you call it, the dishes and things like that are going to be worth more money. So that's just what I'm going to continue doing, you guys. I'm just looking at the brand names, looking to see what's available, watching with you. Bless you, my love. She laughed if you guys couldn't hear that. I'm noticing there that this one's Pampered Chef, and you guys know that I did buy another Pampered Chef recently. It seems like some of these can have a little bit of money to them, so of course it's a little bit on the big side, but it went in the cart. Definitely gonna want to look that up before I take it home. And you can see the store is starting to fill up. So I don't know. I don't mind it, but it still feels weird during COVID to be near anybody. So I'm always like, can you guys give me some space, please? I'm noticing, like, even watching this, there's just a lot of Corningware. I don't know if you guys can see up top up there what I'm looking at, but I found two more of those Temptations by Terra dishes up there. And my first glance at this was that it was a little dirty around the edges, but that they needed to go in the cart. And so I definitely looked them up before I decided if I was going to buy them or not, right? Very easy when it's actually marked, and they actually had the pattern name on them. So like they're just trying to help me out here, I think. I have not found anything yet at a thrift store that was on this side of the aisle, right? This is all the pots and pans mostly, with a little bit of Corningware there. If you guys see any of this stuff that I'm picking up and putting back down, and you're like, wow, you should have bought that. That's worth 30, 40, $50, something like that. I would love to know about it. I've seen a few of the other YouTube celebrities like picking up that Vision stuff. Um, what is it? The guy who's down in Virginia, he seems to buy it all the time. And then one of the girls I think she's in Pennsylvania. I think her name is Shell Bell. She seems to always buy that stuff as well. And I have not ever bought any of it. Like there was a ton of it here. You can see I just grabbed one there, or I just touched one, and I just don't know if it's worth it. It seemed like they sell for anywhere from like $10 to $20, and so I'm like, probably like a lot of the things, if it's bigger, then it has more value because it's harder to ship, and more people aren't going to be getting into it. And probably more people didn't buy them, so they may be a little bit rarer. All right, so I headed back to the kitchen gadgets section here, right? I'm still looking for bread makers and stuff, right? I've seen like the bread pans and the bread paddles are doing well, and even the makers themselves. Next, I headed up here to the small electronics and to like the little statues section. I found some pretty interesting stuff here the last few visits, but I don't know, guys, the shelves are looking kind of bare. And of course, going through all the electronics over here, uh, looks like they almost got like clearance stuff from somewhere, and they put a bunch of that out. Right? You can see there's that multi-charge thing like right in the middle, and right, that's just not really what I'm going to be looking for, you guys. And then there's a bunch of those timers up there, which I've used a ton of those, like especially at Christmas time, but I don't think there's actually any value to them. You can usually get them brand new for just a couple dollars. You can see I'm looking for calculators. I'm looking for cameras. I actually ended up starting using my cell phone to take pictures now for eBay, and I've been doing it. It seems like the picture quality is just very good with that. So I'm actually just sold my the camera that I was using before, which was a 16 megapixel, and it looks like it's going for about $30 to $40. And so it's like, right, that's what I'm really going to look for. I noticed a couple of years ago that if it's like 12 megapixels or higher, that you can pick up those little digital cameras, and they can do all right, anywhere from like 20 plus dollars. And the higher the megapixel, the newer it is, of course, the better it's going to be. But don't be afraid to look it up and see, because like you might be able to pay up for it and still make a good amount of money on it. You can see that I did grab a calculator off the shelf. Just you never really know with some of these calculators if they're going to have any value or not. So the good news with a lot of them is they've got their model number like right on it that you can see through the bag. Most of the time you can't tell if the batteries inside have corroded or not, so that's always going to be a little bit of a risk. But what are you going to do? So next I headed back to the wood section here, and you can see that I've grabbed a shoe shine box. And if you've been watching my What Sold videos, you know that I bought one with Amanda a few weeks ago. And pretty much within about a week of me listing it, it sold from asking price of $25. So for $5.99, I think that's what that was. I think that's a pretty good pickup. I think I'll probably list it about the same. I didn't see any kind of plates on it to say that it was a specific brand or any kind of branding anywhere. So just going to be selling it as unbranded, probably listing it about that $25 range. All right, so I headed around the corner looking in this other kind of, I don't know, plateware type section. I haven't found anything in this section yet, you guys, and I don't know that I'm going to. But like the rest of the store, I didn't do too well, so now I'm really trying to look and see, is there anything out here that would be really interesting? And that cookie jar up top was it was Noah's Ark cookie jar, and I was like, that's kind of unique. I think I'll look that up. But you can see that I did not put it in the cart. This is the type of stuff down here on the bottom where I think this is where I'm going to start to find some good items going forward, right? Where they nestle together, or they nest together maybe. And right, it seems like getting sets of them is really where it's at, especially like some of the Pyrex sets. Like if you can get all four of them, uh, then you're going to do a little bit better than just finding one of them. So hopefully, I think probably once estate sale season starts, tag sale season starts, tag sales are garage sales if you don't live in Connecticut. Once that season really gets going, maybe Amber and I will be able to find some really good stuff. She has a great eye for that sort of thing. So now that I've kind of done all the research, I can start to train her on what we're looking for, and then we can start buying some things and really seeing what makes sense, right? Because we're going to have to figure out how easy it is to ship it, all that kind of stuff. All right, so headed over to the case. I used to make this as like kind of a loop, and lately, oh hi, you can see me there squatting down with the camera looking at you guys. But lately, I've been so interested in getting over to that bakeware section that I've just headed there first before going to the case. And you can see like I'm not really noticing anything up here lately that's really interesting. All right, I think this is about my last stop in this store. I headed back to the books and almost bought this one for myself. I've read a few different Neil Stephenson books over the years, and they're pretty good. All right, so then we went to our appointment, and then after that was done, I headed over to the Goodwill that was near there and said hello to my friend at the door there. She's always bugging me to get a cart. She's like, "You'll be back. You don't get one, you'll be back." So I grabbed a cart and headed back to the electronics. And what's this? What do I spy with my little eye? Sony VCR. I think it was $3. I mean, even if it doesn't work, I'm not going to be too unhappy about buying that one, I don't think. Um, yeah, Sony VCRs, they're actually a little bit more valuable sometimes than the Panasonics. Those have been my two really good go-to brands though. Especially the Panasonics with that blue stripe across the front. They've both done very well for me. And of course, if during garage sale season, you guys, we can get it with the remote, or even ask the people who are selling it, do you have the remote? Is it inside? Could you go get it? You're going to add 10, 20, $30 to the price if you can do that. I'm very, very infrequently finding them in the thrift stores. I'm not too surprised there. They don't generally do a good job of keeping it all together when you donate stuff. But hey, they're doing their best considering the amount of stuff that you usually get in donations. So then after the electronics, I headed over to the toys, and I was really excited about toys today, especially when I saw this guy up here. Oh, I'm going to the left. I apologize. But I can see something in the camera frame up there that I'm going to pick up in a second. And I thought it was now. You guys know I've been trying to incorporate some audio from when I'm actually live, but usually it's just a bunch of hanger movement. Let's see. So, right, it seems like there's interesting stuff, but
He is ripped.
yep. So not very good there. Um, I I love selling those guys. My wife actually is kind of terrified of them, so it's even funnier. But yeah, with rips in them, just not too good. You guys may remember a few weeks back, I actually found one of these with some Transformers at this Goodwill, and ended up selling it for about $17 on eBay, which I thought was pretty good. But it also had the Transformers. I think I ended up paying 10 per Transformer, and then something like 14 for the X-Men figures. So then when I was able to pick it up, right, I was able to allay some of that cost in a bundle type situation. And so today there, I don't know if you could see the price when I pulled it open, but it was $14 each, right? So they're basically putting eBay prices on these things now, which makes sense. I mean, they're trying to sell it for as much as they can get for it. Since with the white sticker, usually it is a Target clearance item or something that they've gotten from Target that just wasn't selling there. Um, I don't know if you guys watch any of the Marble Olympics type stuff. I watch Gels Marble Run on YouTube. I love it. I think it is super interesting. And those Gravitrax things that I was showing you there for a second are some of the things that he uses in his events. So I thought that was pretty fun to find. If you guys like it, comment down below. What is your favorite team? I am Team O'Rangers. Go Rangers. All right, so getting pretty close to the end here. I did head up. You guys may have seen this in the header image, the thumbnail image for my video today. This is neat to see. There was a ton of Lego in here, and I had actually walked right by this to get to the electronics, thinking that there's no way there's going to be good prices on these, and I was not wrong. The prices were terrible, you guys, just ridiculously high. And I was just hoping upon hope. I'm looking, going, I can find something in here that's going to be worthwhile. I looked at every single set, and I even looked up a few of them just to see, and most of them were priced actually above eBay prices. So, right, it's a little bit hard to actually try and make any money when that happens. I did head back to the hard goods section here. I actually haven't had any luck with any of this bakeware. There seems to be quite a bit of just plates and random bowls, and I haven't actually found anything that's been really interesting, which is so weird that a Goodwill. This one's actually in kind of a more expensive part of town than that Savers is that I love to go to. But I feel like I find better stuff in this type of section in the Savers than I do at this Goodwill. It doesn't make any sense. But then I've also found a ton of really good electronics in this store over the years. So like it's still kind of like one of my ones I like to go to. Lots and lots of Valentine's Day stuff lately I've seen here, and right, that's more about just having fun, I guess, with what you're buying. Well, I ended up going through quite a bit more of this stuff. Spoiler alert, I guess, I did not really find anything. So I did end up picking up this book here. I've mentioned before that my wife is pregnant, and so we're going to give birth to a baby boy in June. So that's going to be something that I read to him. I can't wait. So I'm going to put up the like symbol up here. If you guys enjoyed this video, please do give me a thumbs up. And if you're interested in more content like this, please do subscribe. Please do come back tomorrow, see what I purchased. Once again, my name is Patrick, and thank you very much.